Hello guys, welcome to the first part of the Red Hat courseware, that is the installation of the Red Hat Server 6. And so let's start with the installation part. Basically Red Hat supports 5 types of installations. First is the CD-ROM installation, second is a hard drive installation, network installation, kickstart installation and PXE installation. We're going to see the details of each type of installation, and there is one thing to note. From the point of view of RHCE exam, the installation is not the part of the exam. The Red Hat server is already pre-installed there, so you need not care much about it. So we're gonna study the different kinds of installation that the Red Hat supports. Now the installation basically depends upon the requirement. Like suppose if we want to install it on a single machine, then we may install it with the help of the CD-ROM or the hard drive. But think about the scenario where the administrator required to install this on the hundreds of computers at a single time. So that is not possible to go to each system one by one and then perform the CD-ROM installation. So for that purpose we have a network based installation where there is one server that is accessible by all the clients, and the clients obtain the boot CD or the boot image from that server. This is the basic idea about the network installation or the PXE installation. So first of all, we are going to see the installation of Red Hat with CD-ROM or ISO image. So ISO image are very common these days. You can find the ISO image for each and every application and softwares. So using that ISO image, you can mount that ISO image on a hard drive, on your hard drive, and then you can use that hard drive to install the Red Hat server, or you can also use the ISO image for the network based installation. See, the ISO image can be used for different types, means for the different type of installations. It can be used in different ways. So amongst them, one of the ways is like network based installation, where you mount an ISO file on over a NFS, HTTP or a HTTP share, and you allow your client machine to access that ISO file or the boot image from that network location, or you create a shared file server over the network, or you mount an ISO image on the local hard disk for the hard disk based installation. So to keep the things simple, what we're gonna discuss here is a simple installation on Vmware workstation or the VirtualBox, whatever you use, and Red Hat Enterprise 6 ISO image for the demonstration. Rest about all the other installations, I'm gonna tell you some or either details and the basic requirements, so that you can set up your own systems. Now we come to the kickstart installation. Kickstart installation, as the name suggests, it's a single file. It's basically a type of single start installation where you just need to run one file and the entire installation process is done without any human intervention. So it's like a complete solution to the entire installation. It is more preferred over the network based installations. What happens, you create your kickstart file and you upload it to a network server or a share, and all the other client computers, they obtain that kickstart file from that network location. So what is kickstart? Kickstart file is basically a simple txt file that contains some installation commands, steps and the basic inputs that you require in a manual installation in terms of commands, package section, pre and post section. So these are basically package section, command and pre and post sections are the sections that comprises of this kickstart file. Command section contains various options like various boot options, then about your file systems and all that. Then the package section contains the additional packages that you need to install with your Linux server installation. See, whenever a server gets installed, it gets installed with some minimal packages. So according to your requirement, you can change your packages, or you can add or subtract a package. So for that we have a package section there, and after that we define the package names. Then there are various pre and post sections which are basically optional, and they contain certain scripts for the various configuration options. And now after preparing this kickstart file, what you do is you upload this file over the file server, and then from there the various client machines, they obtain that file and they run that installation. So as the file executes, first of all the command sections are executed, like mounting of the file systems, the various options that you give while configuring your grab and all that. So it contains several options. So this is the basic of the kickstart installation. So to keep the things simple, I am gonna show you the installation over a Red Hat virtual machine without any network installation or that. I'm gonna show you the simple installation, but I'm gonna tell you about every installation, like what is the kickstart and what is now PXE. So now we start with PXE installation. So PXE, as the name suggests, it is known as pre-execution environment. What happens whenever you boot your system, the system searches for a DHCP server in its network, and if it finds a DHCP server, it obtains the IP address from that server, and the server also provides it the address of the TFTP server where the booting CD, that is the boot CD or the live CD, is kept, or the kickstart file is located on the network. And your system, after obtaining the IP address from the DHCP server, it accesses that TFTP server and loads the boot CD or the kickstart file from that network location and boots it using the network based installation. So as mentioned here, it is often configured for the installation on larger number of PCs together. As I told, if there are 100 and 500 of PCs and you want to install the Red Hat Linux on each and every one, so you can easily upload one file on the network server and can make the client accessible that file, so that the client can boot up using the PXE. Now I'm going to show, later in this video I'm going to show you how this PXE installation takes place. So if you are not getting it, so don't worry, the things will come slowly and slowly. Now PXE combined with the kickstart installation can also leave the system administrators carefree from the installation steps and the requirements. So now to start the PXE installation, as I told you, first we configure the client to boot through the network using the PXE environment. And to configure the client to boot through a PXE environment, you can select the options from the motherboard options while in the BIOS section of your system. So it's a time for live demo. Like, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to use an RHEL6 ISO image and a virtual box or VMware workstation 8, whatever you suits like. So I'm going to use that. So here is my VMware workstation, and I'm going to create a new virtual machine. These are actually all the virtual machines that I have configured as a part of my lab exercises, so don't care about this. So we're going to start with the fresh installation. We have this typical. Next, no, this is the installer image here, eSoftware Red Hat ISO. This is the ISO image that we're going to use it. So we click on this option. I will install the operating system later. Next, then Linux, and since it is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6, so we mark it 6. Then now this is the location where the actual VMware file will be installed. You can also change that location with the help of the browse options. You can browse to the various hard disks wherever you want to install it. This is the virtual machine name. The name is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 demo, just to distinguish it from the rest of the machines that I've already configured. So this is your maximum disk size. We store this virtual disk as a single file. So these are the various options like hard disk, 20 GB, memory 2 GB, network adapter, NAT, and other devices that are attached to it are CD, DVD, floppy, USB, etc. So we finish it. Now you will see this is our Red Hat Enterprise Linux image that has been already made. Now I'm gonna make it full screen. Power on this virtual machine. It's powering on. Now see here what is happening. Network boot from AMD. It is showing us, it is clearly stating that the client, that the system is finding a DHCP server if it has been configured there. But since we don't have any DHCP server, so this installation, that is the network based installation, will not be successful here. So just to show you how the network based installation takes place, I have done this. So it is saying PXE, that is exiting into PXE ROM. So it is basically the pre-execution environment. What happened when we booted our system, then it by default tends to find the DHCP server that is available. And if the DHCP server would have available, then it would have provided it with an IP address of the and the IP address of the TFTP server where the kickstart file or the live boot CD has been placed, and the system would have booted from there. But since we don't have any DHCP server over here, so it is giving us the error message, operating system not found. So this is how the network based installation takes place. But I'm gonna show you CD-ROM based installation. So what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna exit here, then from the VM option, removable disk drive, becomes to settings. From the setting we come to CD DVD, and we add the Red Hat Enterprise 6 DVD to this DVD-ROM, to this DVD drive. This is the app library, and my DVD images are placed here. Red Hat 6 ISO files. This is Red Hat 6. Now we add it here. Now the DVD drive of our machine has this ISO file. Press it OK. Then from there we say reset. It is asking, do we want to reset it? Yes. Now what has been done is, our installation CD has been discovered by the machine from the CD or DVD-ROM of this VMware workstation. So now we are performing a DVD based installation, not the network based installation. I hope this point would have been clear to you. Install or upgrade existing system. We click yes. We want to install the existing system. So now this is our Linux server has start booting for the installation purpose. To begin the test of the media, no, we don't want any test. We skip this part. Now it is saying it has found a local installation media that is present on the CD or DVD drive of this VMware workstation. Now this is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 GUI based installation wizard. You click next, select English, US English. We need a basic storage devices. we set this option as reinitialize all. Now this is here we need to give the name to our computer, so we give it here RHCE tutorial @ local domain. Next, okay, local domain is not valid for following reason: hostname cannot contain characters A to Z. Okay, there are some issues. For the simplicity, we keep it local domain. I hope this would work. No, actually we don't. Okay, the problem is here with the @ symbol. Yeah, now we set the time, Kolkata, Asia. Next, now here it is going to ask the password for the root password. Now root is the pre-default user that is already created in the Linux system. Now and root is also known as the super user of the system that has all the system level privileges, all the admin level privileges. There can be many other users also with this, but by default the user that we create is the root user is already created, and during the installation we need to set the password for the root. So I keep this password, click next. Okay, weak password, use anyways, just a demo. Now we say we use all the space. We can also create a custom layout. Now if we say we can create a custom layout, then it will ask us for various partitions and all that. So this is actually the section that I will also introduce you later in the later videos when I will discuss the file system and all. So for here we have 20 GB of free space. So what we do it, we create a standard partition. Now the first partition that we create is / and the file system type that the RHL6 supports is ext4, and earlier it is used to be ext3 and ext2 file systems. So we're going to keep it ext4 and we're going to assign it 10 GB space. We have a 20 GB space, we have given / as 10 GB. Okay, now we have 10 GB space left. Again we select it, create standard partition. Now we create a /boot partition. The size is 200 MB. Actually /boot partition is the partition where the grub is located. Don't worry, these all, just remember this term. We're gonna see again this term in the later videos when we will discuss about the boot process of the Linux, and it is the grub that contains the bootloader and all that, and all the installation images and many more stuff. So it is basically 200 MB is maximum for the boot partition. Now the rest of the space we again create a standard partition, that is /home partition. Now we can create the various partitions like /home, /tmp, /usr, /var depending upon the requirement. So I create a /home partition here, and the size that I will give is around means just 2 GB 2048. Now again this is, now again we come to standard partition, and now this time we want to create a swap partition. Swap is basically what you consider what you think cache in your system, swap is for the Linux. Swap act as a cache memory. So normally we keep it around 2 GB of swap space is more than enough with it. And now this is the free space that we will leave it. Then we come to next. Now the following pre-existing devices have been selected to format, destroying all the data. Okay, MS-DOS partition type file partition will be formatted with the ext4 partition type. Format, write changes to the disk. So it is actually creating ext4 file system and all that, and it is creating each and every partition /dev, SDA1, SDA2, SDA3. Now it is saying the bootloader operating system is present at /dev/SDA2. So it is this partition that will be used, that where our grub will be present, where our bootloader will be present, and our Linux will be loaded from here whenever we reboot our system. Next. Now this is it is asking us for the additional packages that we want to install. Either we want to keep it as a basic server, we want to make it as a database server, web server, virtual host, desktop, and various other options. We can also add additional software repositories or modify the existing repository. Repository is a term that might be unfamiliar, that you might be unfamiliar with, but don't worry, we will come with this in the later videos when we will discuss about the packages. So but for time being, you can understand like repository is the location of the file servers where our actual all the packages are stored, and we retrieve the package from there whenever we want to install any package. So that is known as basically the repository. So as I told you, now we want a basic server or a database, or so I select this option desktop because we want a GUI based installation, because we want a GUI desktop. If we just keep it as the basic server, then we will only get a console with the all black screen. So what we want here, we want a GUI based desktop, so we select here desktop. Now if we would have been preparing installing it through the kickstart file, then it is all these things we have to mention in the package section. Like if you remember few slides back, I told you about the kickstart installation. It has 3 sections: command, package, and all. So it is the package section that we have, that we will list here if we want some additional packages. So right now forget that, we are basically doing a GUI based installation. We have checked it, customize later. Next. Now it is checking the dependencies in the packages selected for installation, and it will start installing. Now it is copying the files and it is transferring the images to the hard drive. So here the installation process is actually started. So we just have to wait till the installation completes. So yeah, it's just starting my installation process. It will take some time while copying all the packages onto the system. So what I was talking about, I was actually talking about this system got hang. Yeah, so I was talking about this package section. So it is here that we will mention the additional packages beside the basic server that we would like to install here. So we just find the status of it. my machine. So yeah, the installation has begun. So here we are in the middle of our installation process. 318 of 1063 packages have been already installed, and now it's installing Vim, and 7.2411, actually i686 is the package extension for that tells about architecture that it supports. It is installing various packages, so we have to wait till it installs. So guys, finally we come to the end of installation. It has taken almost half an hour, so it's about to finish installing the machine and installing all the packages and all that stuff. Actually my system has got struck with so much load. So finally we are almost done. It's just taking some time to install the last package. Now after this we will see a message indicating that the installation of the system has been done and the system is ready for the first reboot. Taking a lot of time. So here we will start with a boot. So here we are done with the installation of this. The display messages: congratulations, your Redhat Enterprise Linux is complete and the system requires a first reboot, and so we go for the reboot option. Actually it's taking too much time just because of the low RAM that I have in my system and too many virtual machines have been configured. So this is a system, Redhat Enterprise Linux. It is booting into this. Hope it does not take too much time while booting. Yes, it has started booting into the server. So there are ton of stuff that you can do with this, with the installation. Suppose if you want to set up the installation lab into your work environment, and you can prefer and go for the network based installation. You just need to configure a DHCP server and a TFTP server and prepare your live boot CD or kickstart file, and you have to upload it there, and then you have to make all your clients access that particular file from that network location. So we are just booting into it. So since it is the first time we are booting into the Red Hat Enterprise Linux after the installation, so it may take some time, so be patient till then. Yeah, so these are all the boot messages that were available on the screen. You will come to that in the later during when we will discuss about the boot process of the Linux. Then we will discuss about the boot messages. So we are waiting for a GUI based screen, login screen. We are seeing this cursor. So welcome, this is our Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Few more steps forward. Yes, I agree to the license agreement, the license information. This is while if you want to connect to a Red Hat network for the updates and all, and for software updates. Finish update process. Yes. Now it is going to ask us to create a user. So one user, as we have the root user, that is a default user with the super admin privileges. Now we have to create another user that will have a privileges which will be less than the root user. So we create here a user, Shashank, full name Shashank, password almost the same, and we forward it. Yes. We will configure the date and time zone from here. We can also synchronize the date or time over with some network server if we want. Okay, insufficient memory to configure kdump. Finish. So finally all the formalities have been done, and now we will get the login screen with the two options. Either we can log in through the root, or we can log in through the user that we have already created, that is a Shashank user. So if you do not want any admin works or super admin privileges, then it is always better to log in through the normal user privileges and from the point of security also. So here we got a login screen. This is the name of the computer, shashank.local domain, that we put it earlier during the installation. So now we have a login screen. We log in here with the root privilege. Now it will ask for the password and we put login. You are currently trying to run as a root super user, as yes, as we have already logged in through the root, that is called the super users. So this is our final Red Hat desktop that we have finally installed here. And we have various options here: accessories, internet, graphics, system tool, terminal, browsers, network. So all this part we're going to discuss in our later video. This is the basic GUI for the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So we coming back to our slides. Now it will take some time. My system seriously needs a reboots, multiple reboots. It hasn't been rebooted since 1 week. So finally we are done with this. These are the type of installation, and I showed you with the live demo of. So ready for the next part. The next part would be, I would be discussing about the boot process and the Linux file system, and where I would tell about the entire booting phenomena and the steps behind the booting of the Linux. So enjoy, take care, bye.